Hello class, my name is Professor Brooks. I'm very excited about being here and looking forward to collaborating with everyone. Here you can see my syllabus, so it goes over the details of my background academically and some other details there. So make sure you read that. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. The goal here for this video presentation is just to give everyone a big high level of what to do for week one. I want to make sure everyone stays on track. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, and we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and click on the syllabus. I'm going to cover a few things there that are very, very important. So as I go through this, I'll touch on the important things. All right, so waiting on the syllabus to load here. Okay, here it is. So, all right, so as you can see, the first thing I went to is the course-specific requirements subtitle. It talks about the Raspberry Pi kit, and so you're going to go to the library to find details on getting that Raspberry Pi. Another option is for you to go to Amazon. I kind of said that in the announcement section. It's better for you to actually go to the library, but in any event, you can go a couple different routes there. So make sure you get that kit. You need to try to get it by this weekend, okay? All right, so moving on, just to cover the syllabus at a high level, I wanted to take you through a few things. The iConnect Live is pre-recorded. That area for iConnect Live each week is right here. You can see it on the left-hand side. You can click on that. It used to be live, but actually now it's pre-recorded. So what you could do is click on each week. You'll hit launch, and you'll watch that particular video recording, and it's about the topics that are covered for week one, so make sure you do that. Now let's go back to the syllabus where we were. Okay, that's going to load up, and I'm going to go all the way down. I wanted to show you the weighted averages for the types of assignments we're going to be doing. So with discussions, it weights 28% of your grade. The labs are 30% of your grade. The course project that you do each week is worth 42% of your grade. And of course, the summation there is 100%. So that's the focus. That's the focus. So we need to. You can look at this and easily make sure that you need to, have an even distribution of each assignment type so that you can have a good, viable grade, right? Let's talk about the late policy. You can click on this and go see that at the end of the day, it's a 5% penalty per day for up to 7 days. So keep that in mind. Your discussion areas, let's talk about that. That's always a very, very critical and important area, especially if you're just starting back to school or if you feel like you're a little rusty. This is where a lot of the points get deducted or in the discussion areas. Keep in mind you're graded from a qualitative, right here, and a quantitative measure. So your quantitative grading is from this frequency component. And so it's not very difficult to understand, but here's what it is. When I grade how many posts you've done, I look to make sure you've got a minimum of 3 posts spread across 3 separate days each week. Okay, now that's in each graded discussion area. Okay, so if you've got 2 different discussion areas, you're going to need to make sure that you post across 3 separate days in each of those discussion areas. Now you're also graded on a qualitative measure, meaning you need to be thorough in your responses, bring value to the topic in question. The more you do that, the better off you're going to be, because if you give a 1 or 2 sentence response, your professor has no other choice. He or she has to count points off against you because you're not being substantiated enough in your responses. Remember, you're not always giving your perspectives, but you're talking about the current topics being discussed, and you're giving your perspectives on those topics in particular. So just bring value to the topic in question, try to expand on the body of knowledge, give your experiences in relation to that, and you'll be totally fine, okay? So long story short, you want to be thorough in all of your responses, and you want to post across 3 separate days, okay? And really, that's really the big focus I wanted to touch on there. Like for week one, let's look at your discussion areas. So you've got 2 graded discussions right here. And it tells you that they're graded, right? So for week one, you've got these 2 areas to make sure you post in. So in this graded discussion area, you want to post across 3 separate days. And in this discussion area, you want to also make sure you post in 3 separate days here. Okay? So you've got 2 graded discussion areas. All right, so I think you're going to have a good feel for what's next. Your lesson material, make sure you go and focus in on the lesson material, read over that because it kind of sets the foundation for your learning objectives for each week. And so now let's click on the assignments. Okay, so your assignments, the course project. The course project, well, let's talk about that here in a minute. Your discussions, we just talked about that. You should know exactly what to do there. Your course projects are always going to be up here. Okay, they're not in the week 1 or week 2 section, but they're up here underneath course home where it says course project. You're going to click on that, and that tells you everything you need to know, and it looks like it's having problems coming up here. Bear with me one moment. I can get logged in. Come on. Okay. All right, almost there. Okay, so your course project again is right here. And again, all you're going to do is you're going to, here are the guidelines. So for week 1, you're going to write a paper. It needs to be at a limit of 1 full page. And I don't mean just a couple paragraphs. I mean 1 full page going into the next page. And what you're going to do is follow these requirements. Here are the guidelines, right? And you're going to answer this question, okay? How will you continue to use problem solving throughout your professional life, okay? It's a high-level question. You can go in many different directions on that question. So here, this is your grading rubric. You're going to be graded based on the quality of paper, and you will need to have a title page and a reference page. You need to have at least 1 citation in the body of your paper. So that means you're going to have a title page and a reference page. Make sure you do that so you don't get points counted off. And here are the other requirements that you're going to be graded upon. So make sure you follow the grading rubric. Again, 1 full page. Always get the same question. 1 full page and at least 1 citation in the body of that paper. Feel free to use more citations as appropriate. So you're going to be using APA style, and I think you're going to be doing fine. So if you get stuck, remember there's 3 ways to communicate with your professor, and it works, in all your classes the same way. Number 1, you can always post a question. Each week has a student's question area, so you can click on discussion. And then you can click on the Q&A form for that week and ask questions, and it's right here. The other method of communicating with your professor is you can send an email. It's always good to have a paper trail. Number 3, you can pick up the phone and call your professor. And number 4, with me, you can always send me a text message at that phone number in the syllabus. So I'm a texter, so feel free to send me a text and whatever questions you may have, you can ask there, and I'll reply back, or however you want to communicate. There are 4 avenues of communication. I look forward to working with you, and we'll talk to you soon. Over and out, everyone. Bye-bye.